Okay, I'm online with Steve Alexander, and Steve is using the ETF Trading Bandit to trade, and he's been using it with live money for a month now, and he has some results to share. And I wanted to just ask Steve about some of the methods that he's using for allocating money and for deciding which ETFs to trade when they appear in the list of trade candidates. So first of all, hi, Steve.
Hello, how are you, Chris?
I'm very well, thanks. And just so it's clear, I've never met you before, right?
Right, I've never met you.
So how did you find out about the ETF Trading Bandit?
A friend of mine was telling me about a book by Larry Connors and Cesar Alvarez, and he showed it to me. And I use TradeStation for my trading, and I write easy language code. And so I looked at this book, and I just glanced at it. I really didn't pay much attention to it, but it seemed so simple that they had the 7 strategies and put them in, and they were very, very profitable. And so I started looking online then and searching, and I found ETF Bandit online. And so right away it sounded good, because I had, in the week or so after I heard about the 7 strategies of Connors, I programmed 4 of them myself. And I tried all 4 of those, and I tried them on a number of things, all of the ETFs that he had mentioned in the book, and I tried them on some stocks as well. And they worked very, very well. In fact, I thought they worked even better than he had shown in his book. So then I found ETF Bandit, and I said, well, look, I don't have to do all that work. It's already been done. It's got all 7 strategies already up there, and he's got the charts all show up, and they've all got the 200-day moving average on them already. So I have to try this.
Wow.
So I downloaded the trial, and I worked with that for, I don't know, maybe a week or so. And then I got the real thing. And one of the major things about it was the ability to put in any list you wanted to. Because I found in my backtesting with TradeStation that there are a number of stocks that this works just fine with.
Okay.
In fact, I started scanning. I put up a scanner, and I scanned for stocks with a certain volume and certain price levels, and 200-day moving average moving in at a certain slope, and I wanted to be sure I got really the best of the best.
Mm-hmm.
And I wound up with 100, and I think I have 106 stocks and ETFs in my list that ETF Bandit scans for me every day.
Okay.
And I picked from those to do the trades.
I see. Yeah, I noticed when you sent me through your list of trades that some of them were stocks, so I was curious about that, but that explains why you have those.
Yeah. In fact, I have far more stocks than I have ETFs.
Is that right?
I have most of the ETFs, but I also have another, I don't know, 80 or 90 stocks that it works on.
And now these are actual trades that you've made. Is that correct?
Yes. All of these are live trades, and all of them include all of the costs, commissions, all of that. There's nothing made up about this. It's just a recording of what I did.
Okay, that's great. And so it looks like you're on May the 3rd. It looks like you purchased 3 positions. Is that correct?
That's right.
Okay, so how have you decided to allocate your capital? It looks like you're starting with a $10,000 bankroll.
Right.
And so from the 3 positions, how have you been allocating capital to those positions?
Well, I started out saying to myself, well, I think I may have up to about 10 positions, so I'll put $1,000 approximately into each one.
Okay.
And I was thinking of no margin, never going into margin whatsoever. So those first few trades up there on the 3rd and on the 4th, if you notice under cost, the cost column, they're all a little bit less than $1,000.
Yep, I see that.
And then by that time I noticed, it's already been 4 days here, and I've only got 6 positions, and I thought I was going to have 10, so I think I can actually allocate more money to each trade. So I think I'll go to 1,500. So on the 5th, I made a trade, and that one is $14.94. So that was actually, I decided that, okay, I'll put 1,500 into each trade, and if I go a little bit into margin, that'll be all right. And so that's what happened on the 5th.
Okay.
Then by the 13th, I guess I changed my mind again and went back and I put 1,000 into these 3 trades, and then on the 17th I woke up again and said, no, I think it was 1,500, so I went to 1,500, 16, 15. But mostly this whole spreadsheet, by now I've decided that it's going to be around 1,500 for each trade. So that's about 15% of the bankroll. And I figured if I did that, that'll let me get 7 or 8 positions in the bankroll, and maybe I'll be a little bit in the margin, but not very much.
Okay. And how many positions has this meant that you've actually? What was the maximum number of open positions you've had during May?
I don't recall. I did not keep track of that. You could tell by looking at the spreadsheet here, but I think it was probably never more than about 6 or 7. Okay,
good. And so the profit that you're showing on the right-hand side accounts for everything, profit and loss. This accounts for commissions, slippage, all trading, all costs of making that trade are accounted for here. So this is pure profit, or if it's red, it's a loss.
Yes. For example, if you take a look at the very first trade there, it says the buy price is $48.29.
Yep.
We bought 20 shares. And you'll find that 20 times $48.29 is not $967. It's a little less than that. But the rest of that is because there's commission cost in there.
Mm-hmm.
So that goes for the whole spreadsheet. I did account for that.
Okay.
And that's the end result of that trade. It's got the buy date, sell date, the cost, and what it was sold for, and it's not a great deal of money. As you see, they make $9, $11, $20, $40, $60. However, by the end of the month, it's made $419 on 10,000, which is 4.19%. That's over 50% in a year, and I'm very happy with that return.
That's not too bad. And also, you weren't fully invested in that time either. So it sounds like
no, I was never fully invested. Never got all the money into the market at all. So I'm pleased with that.
Yeah, that's very good. And it looks like that you've been using the aggressive versions of the strategies too, because this trade here in ARUN was on 520, and then you made another trade on 523, but the 520 one hadn't actually exited. So were you using the aggressive version for that strategy, for that
yes.
symbol? Okay.
Yes, I always look at these. I have to say that I tempered the signals that are in ETF Trading Bandit with a little bit of human interaction, because at any given time I might have had 6, 7, 10, 20 signals saying buy, 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 and I couldn't buy all those things with $10,000. So typically I'd pick the ones that I thought were the top 3 or so, and I would just purchase them. So every trade throughout the entire month, every one of them is a winner. That is not what I expected. I thought I would win maybe 7 or 8 out of 10. But every one is a winner. Even that one that's the $14 figure in red, even that one, that's part of 2 buys. We bought once, we bought again. The net of those 2 is actually 1 trade because it closed out, and we made $56 on it.
Right. That's what I was thinking when I saw those 2 together. That's the second one would be the aggressive entry, and then that exited for $70. Which, if you put them together as one position, that's an overall win. So that's very good. And then there's this one down here, which is still open as of May 31st, which is currently a loser, but you don't know, how that's going to turn out either. What's been your experience with after you've made a trade, watching those positions? Do they tend to fall a little bit and be losers for a while and then come back, or do you see that they immediately turn around and have been winners?
I didn't track this objectively, but my subjective feeling is that they might have fallen a little bit, but not very much.
Mm-hmm.
I was pretty happy with that because I actually expected that they would fall a little bit more, and I'd have to take some heat on the trade, and then they would come back maybe. But my experience, it feels like more that maybe a couple of them fell a little bit, and then most of them seemed to kind of hang right pretty much where they were, and then they'd take off, and I'd get a signal the next 2 or 3 days to sell them, so I'd sell out.
Yeah, and I've noticed that in my experience too, is that they don't immediately turn around. You do take a little bit of heat on a lot of the trades, so that's just something that people should be aware of. And also, there's an option when you get a signal of either trading at the close of the market or on the following open. What have you been using for your entry?
For the most part on these, I use the intraday update.
Mm-hmm.
And I would go into the market, most of them, not all the time, but most of them, I look at the market around noon, maybe even a little bit after noon, and if it gave me a buy signal at that time, I'd go ahead and buy on the same day.
Okay, and would you put a market on close order, or how would you enter your order?
I put all of these as just limit orders. I went right into TradeStation, which is what I use, and I just, right then and there, as it was moving, I would just look at a 5-minute chart and say, oh, okay, I think it's going to hit there. I put in the order and just buy it.
Okay, good to know. No, that's great. I mean, thanks for sharing this result. I mean, it's rare that you get somebody who's willing to show their actual live trades to other people. So I really appreciate the time that you spent to come online and show these trades to us.
Well, you're welcome, and part of the reason for that is I appreciate the software, the ETF Trading Bandit. That is, I write software myself, so I really kind of appreciate what's usable and what's not usable and what's all fancy and looks great but doesn't do anything. But you have a piece of software there that, in my opinion, is very, very high quality. It does what you say. It works nicely, and you can make money with it. Here's an example in that 1 month there, and this is a pretty small account. I was kind of in testing phase here. I wasn't even looking at, okay, I want to trade this live for real. I just want to test it. But with even that, I practically made back the price of ETF Bandit in 1 month.
Right.
So
and that's
good software.
Well, I appreciate that. And that's one of the things that is very unique about the program is it's a one-time fee as well. So once you have made back your money for buying the program, then everything else goes to your profits every year. So it's not like you have to pay a subscription every year and then spend the first month or two paying that back. It's like once you've bought it, you can keep and use it forever. So that was one of the things I wanted to get with the program, is to give people that opportunity, which is very rare in the trading world. You'll find most things are subscription based.
Yeah, this is excellent. I'm very impressed with it.
Okay. Well, thanks very much, Steve, for spending time, and I hope that you continue to have success with this, and maybe we'll do something a little bit in the future, and we can come back and review your spreadsheet at some point later on and see how you've been getting on.
Well, I intend to use it next month, so maybe we can check at the end of June and see how it did there.
All right, that sounds great.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks a lot, Steve.